All right, was I really exposed to enough in combat to have these issues? This was my hallmark. It went from a standpoint of minimizing my experiences, and I think I minimized them in order to avoid them because deep down I knew they would bring some pain, and actually, I think it was more subconsciously knowing that pain would be endured if I had to look at them and reflect and talk about them and go through them. So the easier thing to do was to minimize my experience. Oh, I only did 4 combat deployments. I know Rangers who did 14, 15, 16 deployments. They at least they having a reason to maybe have an issue and to be struggling with the invisible wounds of war. But me, only 4. Nope, didn't have enough exposure, and I shouldn't have an excuse to have an issue. That's completely false. It's complete false narrative on my part. And it was me minimizing my experience because I can tell you the 2 traumas that significantly played a factor in my post-traumatic stress disorder and which I had to go through the cognitive processing therapy were both from my first combat deployment in the 10th Mountain Division. A Chinook got shot down over Fallujah November 2nd, 2003 in Wheeler QRF responding to it. So that traumatic event and what was endured out on the scene of that, and then spring of 2004, we were in a reactive contact near ambush, and the loss of an innocent life unintentionally took place that night. That I had to go through the cognitive processing therapy for. So my 3 later Ranger deployments, while traumatic events did occur during those deployments, they weren't what set the conditions for the post-traumatic stress disorder. So I say that because too many times I've heard others, as well as what I did myself, minimizing our exposure in combat and minimizing it and talking ourselves out of going and seeking that help. And I can tell you, while I'm still in that journey, I will always be in that healing journey. I mean, because we are in this world, but not of this world. But what I can say is by going in and looking at it and turning into the pain and taking it head on, if you will, and getting the help I needed from the VA and from the psychologist that I had, as well as the group therapy that I went through, it got me to a point where I'm in a much better place for myself, for my family, for the ones I love the most. And I'm finally in a state of being present, or as best as I can being present today, and not being stuck on that battlefield or in those scenarios, whether consciously or subconsciously. So I encourage us to not minimize our experiences in combat. And while it will suck to go back and look at it and endure the pain. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucked for me at least, but my goodness, on the other end, you'll get through it. You'll surround yourself with those, because there are those who love you, who want to see you go through it, to be on the other side of it. And it's well worth it for yourself and for your loved ones. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts.